Is it fair to say Derek Carr is playing for his job to be the first quarterback in the history of the Las Vegas Raiders, Brent?
I don't want to conclude that because prior to the last two games, the relationship really seemed on course for me. Carr had learned a complex, Rich Gannon told me, one of the more complex offenses for a quarterback to deal with, and you have a hands-on quarterback coach, as you pointed out, in John. I'm sure the plan was when this season started, Derek will be our leader as we go into Las Vegas. And, of course, you remember they had Antonio Brown, so they had a weapon on the outside. Now, what the Raiders know as well as you and I know is that this cold weather thing is not going to go away. And when you play into the playoffs, you get into December and January, you're going to have cold weather games, okay? I mean, it's just the way it is. You cannot get yourself to the Super Bowl unless you can win in the cold weather. So that in the back of their mind, but they have so many other concerns. To tell you the truth, I would think now it is interesting. It is interesting. I read this in the Review Journal this morning. DeShone Kizer is going to move to the backup spot, okay? Now, DeShone Kizer was drafted by Cleveland, started up, 11, 12 games, whatever it was, threw too many interceptions. He was one of those rookies who was forced in. Coach Kelly has said he should not have left Notre Dame a year early. Then he went to the Green Bay Packers, and then he was waived, and so that's when the Raiders picked him up, and he's been the third quarterback all season. But I understand, according to the Review Journal, he's going to be elevated to number 2 ahead of Mike Glennon this week. Now, the one thing that DeShone can do is move, okay? I've watched him in practice, and he's simulated other quarterbacks. He's a very good-looking athlete when he's out there. I'm not saying DeShone Kizer is going to be the starting quarterback, but you said it well, he likes to kick tires on quarterbacks. So DeShone Kizer will be standing there ready to go. But I'm not ready to say that Derek won't be the starter or that he's now if he backs it up here in the next 4 games, then all bets are off for sure. But he has played well. You know, listen, Derek Carr is a terrific young man. Let me just tell everybody that we should all be so lucky to have a son like Derek. There is absolutely nothing that I could say negative about this young man. He's terrific. However, you got to get the ball in the end zone. You got to win football games. That's the nature of the job. It's the hardest job in all of sports, and people criticize it every day. I'm sure there's fans down in Dallas who say, don't give Dak Prescott that big contract today. Having lost that game up there, I know how it is. It's week to week. It's the not-for-long league, and we shall see. But Derek has to win games going forward. It's kind of interesting, Rich, the opening total victories for the Raiders last July when they put out the totals was 6.5, and the bettors pounded the under, so they dropped it down to 6. Well, they have won 6 already. So according to the guys who keep track of things like that, they're on schedule, and we shall see what happens. After the Titans, Jacksonville comes in. That'll be the final game ever played in Oakland, if you can believe it, in the Coliseum. And then they close out on the road. They go down to Los Angeles, play the Chargers and the Dignity Health Sports Park, and then they close up with the Denver Broncos prior to New Year's. Now, would I want to talk playoffs with the Raiders? No. I just want to see them end on a real positive note. They're not going to catch the Chiefs. The Chiefs are going to win, and the Chiefs are the best team in the AFC West. They've got the best personnel. That coaching staff has done a tremendous job. People are going to find out in that New England game that secondary of the Chiefs vastly improved from where it began a year ago. They've got 6 or 7 defensive backs who've intercepted passes already this year. And, of course, one was a pick 6 by a rookie from Virginia by the name of Thornhill last week against Derek Carr. So, listen, it doesn't matter. They've sold all the tickets in the new stadium. I was in it a couple of weeks ago. It's a beautiful stadium. I know you and the guys have been to Minneapolis. Very similar.
Okay.
Very similar, Rich. It goes up vertical. There will be noise in there. Obviously, it's a dome because in September we'll be playing in 100-degree heat in here. It's going to be a spectacular venue. The practice facility is a little further west, and they've got an indoor practice field going up, about a field and a half. They got 3 outdoor facilities going up, big office. And I'd point out that this means so much to the city of Las Vegas.
Yeah.
it was an outlaw town. It's a place where you always went to have a good time. But now, when the Raiders come in, it steps way up in class. It legitimizes it as a big city.
For more of The Rich Eisen Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV for free on BR Live or download The Rich Eisen Show app.